There's something nice and very video gamey about the idea of a side quest. The word implies it's important, but not too important. That it's of life-changing significance to someone, but also it can wait until you're less busy. No, there's no rush. I'm not going anywhere. And that's why, in this video, we'll be celebrating the great supporting actors of the video game, the cheerful bits of busy work that bulk out our favourite titles. And whether you scoot past every side quest in a rush to the end, or meticulously finish any task asked of you, here are 9 side quests worth getting distracted by.
Over here!
Fallout is big on moral ambiguity, but you usually know what to expect. Schism between humans and ghouls, burgeoning towns on the brink of collapse. But the Oasis quest offers something different, and it could only work in the parched and hopeless capital wasteland. During your adventure outside the vault, you come across an oasis of life and calm that stands out against the otherwise barren surroundings. The problem is that at the centre of it all is a mutant named Harold, who's rooted in place with a tree growing out of his head. He begs you to kill him, but doing so will destroy the oasis and prevent any chance of the greenery expanding. Harold is a wonderfully grumpy victim, the oasis followers are typically weird, and the moral dilemma is finely balanced. It's hard to feel certain about either choice, and that's one of the reasons it's so good.
I have a feeling the winds are about to change.
Borderlands 2 might show you a dysfunctional existence inside a post-apocalyptic comic book, but that doesn't mean it can't be civilized. And what's more civilized than a tea party? In this case, literally almost anything.
Here I am about to throw a tea party and the guest of honor is missing!
Tiny Tina's You Are Cordially Invited side quest involves you collecting the necessary ingredients for a delightful tea party. Crumpets, refreshments, kidnapped psychopaths. It's like the Ritz, but with electrocution. The scene that unfolds is tragic and hilarious, as Tiny Tina pours tea and reveals the real reason behind the party, while you make small talk and frantically hold off waves of enemies. It's a blackly comic moment, and one of the many reasons Tiny Tina is one of the best NPCs in the series. Another cucumber sandwich, Vicar? No? Okay. The Elder Scrolls games are defined by the quality of their side quests, and in Skyrim especially, all those off-the-beaten-path adventures amount to something better than the main quest. And the Mind of Madness side quest is a perfect example. In it, you step inside the psyche of Pelagius the Mad to fix his diminished self-confidence. You fight off the forces of self-doubt and anger, and teach poor Pelagius to love himself. It's like Inception, if Inception had the Daedric Prince of Madness instead of Leonardo DiCaprio. We should also give a special mention to A Night to Remember, a side quest that has you piecing together the aftermath of a fearsome evening on the tiles. It begins with a simple tipple in a tavern and ends with goats, giants, and a Daedric Prince's wedding.
I really just needed something to encourage you to go out into the world and spread merriment.
Let's all agree to never drink again. Rocksteady's Batman Simulator is wonderful for an endless number of reasons, but the side quests really make it. Even the most obscure bits of Batman lore are fashioned into interesting distractions, and the Shot in the Dark mission is one of the best. In a game that's so often about shin-shattering takedowns, this side quest is a rare chance to slow things down and show off Batman's credentials as the world's greatest detective. This mission really makes you stop and think as you triangulate the origin of shots via bullet holes and track down the legendary assassin, Deadshot. It doesn't even matter that Deadshot is a bit of a doofus and that the final confrontation ends with you abruptly dropping him on his head. The process of tracking him down is fantastic. It's one of the most Batman-y bits in a series that really shows off all of the Dark Knight's skills.
Shout, it's Batman!
Far Cry 3 is a wonderful sandbox of distractions, so it should be difficult to pick one standout moment. But it really isn't. The Kick the Hornet's Nest mission, in which you torch an entire field of cannabis, neatly summarises everything that's wonderful about Ubisoft's irreverent open-worlder. The fun starts when you get given a powerful flamethrower, instantly one of the most enjoyable weapons for tormenting the hapless goons of Rook Island. But then as you start to burn all the weed as instructed, it has an effect on hero Jason Brody, as you'd expect. It's a beautiful, fiery mess. Aiming becomes tricky, and Brody becomes rather too attached to his flame-spewing toy. Add that soundtrack by Skrillex and you've got a chemically enhanced frat party full of fire and carnage, and we don't even feel slightly guilty for loving it.
Man, I love this thing!
Yes, we know we already featured one Elder Scrolls game, but with Oblivion experiencing something of a comedy resurgence at the moment, we couldn't help but include it. And this is partially because Oblivion has some of the weirdest, most inventive side quests in any game. A Brush with Death is a great example, a beautiful, weird distraction which features magic brushes, painted trolls, and an artist trapped inside his own creation. In a game that can sometimes feel a little bit low fantasy, this mission feels like an imaginative treat.
Do your worst!
And we should also mention An Unexpected Journey. No, not the 8-hour Hobbit movie about dwarves going for a walk. Dwarves have been extinct in these parts for thousands of years. We mean the brilliant Oblivion side quest that sees you sailing out to sea on the hijacked, bloated float.
You've never had a night's rest like this, I assure you.
And yes, we know that's technically 2 entries, so the list should actually be 11 side quests, but oh look, wait, another entry. All the loyalty missions in Mass Effect 2 are worthy of note, and the whole game is full of quests that feel more impactful when you experience the results of them later on. But it's Kasumi Goto's quest that makes this list, purely because it shows us a side of Mass Effect that we rarely get to see. It's exactly what you'd expect from a mission involving a master thief, but that doesn't make it boring. It's basically a Bond movie in space. No, not like Moonraker, in which you dress Shepard up, assume a fake identity, and schmooze around a party of terrible people. And best of all, this mission has a strong emotional heart. Instead of being there for money or power, you're stealing a mental snapshot of Kasumi's deceased lover, which makes her a powerfully relatable character. Plus, it's cool seeing the artistic treasures of an entire galaxy collected in one place.
Wow.
What happens when you take one legitimate psychopath, 2 British eccentrics obsessed with celebrity, and an entire city of famous actors? Hopefully, anything but this. Vinewood's Souvenirs is the best of GTA 5's sinister Strangers and Freaks missions. It sees you collecting memorabilia for the Thornhills, a bizarre elderly couple who enlist Trevor to steal everything from golf clubs to gold teeth. As you'd expect from a GTA mission, it escalates to a dark, murdery conclusion, made all the more compelling by the weird interaction between very different characters. On the face of it, it might not look like the Thornhills and Trevor have anything in common, but they're both united by a casual disregard for human life. How very touching. And finally, predictably, we come to The Witcher 3 and the Bloody Baron. Essentially, this is a spin-off from the main quest, but the return to Crookbock Bog mission ties together one of the best stories told in the Witcher series, a side quest with more emotional weight than most entire games. The Bloody Baron himself is a brilliantly ambiguous character. He's done some reprehensible things, but you can't help but want to redeem him, and this mission is the perfect way to sum up that tale. By focusing on a single family, it makes a battle with a monstrous fiend somehow relatable, and depending on the choices you make, it can end in total despair or with a faint glimmer of hope, which sums up exactly why this quest, and the series as a whole, is so completely essential.
I refuse to meddle.
So there you go, 9 amazing side quests that are better than most games. Please give us a like if you managed to make it to the end of the video without heading off to collect goats for a total stranger, and please subscribe to Logitech G for more weekly shows and features. Thank you for watching.